Your turn, Yugi boy.
What is up, guys? This is AlintheaYoh coming at you today with a brand new debut deck profile of my Train Shaddolls. Now, Train Shaddolls are definitely a very interesting and fun deck in my opinion, and I don't think they're actually as dead as people make them out to be. Now, obviously, Train Shaddolls, rank 10 Shaddolls was a very good deck in the OCG when it first came out, and when Construct was around and Shaddolls were at their prime. And I feel that we've gotten it admittedly too late. I still think it's a fun deck and actually can hold up on its own. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can run this deck, but this is the one that I really like, so I'm going to go into it. So without further ado, we shall go straight into it. First off, thank you to everyone who did give me feedback over the new layout. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully you like the changes that I've made. So without further ado, we'll start off. We have 3 of the Knight Express. Knight Express Knight. Obviously, this card, if you know trains, is the most important card in the deck. Being able to normal summon it, but then it doesn't have any attack is absolutely amazing, simply because you just normal summon it for a free level 10. Now, obviously, you can combo it with other different pieces in the deck, but we'll get to them in a little bit. But basically, if you want to run Shaddolls, you run... if you want to run trains, you run this card, and you run it at 3, and that's it. I know this card is really only legal for Europe, and it hasn't been printed in America, so now you guys know how it feels to be us for basically 99% of all of your products that you get for free. But I do hope that you guys get it early, and yeah, pretty much hopefully you get it soon. I think it's meant to be in Dragons of Legend, maybe, so we'll see how that goes. So next up, we have one of the brand new cards that came out of the Dark Illusion, which is Heavy Freight Train Dera Crane. So this card is absolutely amazing. One of the most important things about it is 2 effects. The first effect, that when a level 10 normal monster, when a Earth Machine type monster is normal special summoned, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then when it is a Xe material and detached, you get to destroy a card on your opponent's side of the field. So you'll probably be using it with Dora, obviously, and Dora's a quick effect to detach to protect itself or something else, and then you get to activate its effect to pop something. So it's a really important card, another incredible 3 of, one of the key cards of the deck, as well as Express Knight. Then we have a Ruffin Rail card. This card, ironically, has been out for a while. It came out in the next challenges, and it's just basically doing nothing because, these main trains haven't been out. So you'll see why you use this card, but in the end phase, you get to search an level 10 Earth Machine monster from your deck to your hand. And why is that important? Well, because you get to search the first 2 cards that I showed, and basically the first effect, which is you inflict 500 damage, but then you can't basically enter your battle phase, is awful. Never use it, ever, 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 unless you literally have your opponent on less than 500 damage, then you might be able to do it. But the only problem is if you get Veilered, you still can't go into your battle phase, so whatever. But a massive 3 of, and I'll tell you why in a second. Going on to the Shadow Core, we have the 2 Beast. 2 Beast is a very important one in my opinion, just because you can get the draws, helps the consistency and everything like that. So I'll go through the Shaddoll engine fairly quickly, just because we all know what Shaddolls look like, I'm pretty sure now. 2 Squamata, again, kind of standard if I'm honest. Like, Squamata you can play at 1 if you really want, but being able to send it from the deck to the graveyard with the Shaddoll Fusion is really important. And again, it does help you get the consistency, because you can get the Falco and flip it face down, or you can get the Beast or anything like that. So yeah, really good card. 2 Hedgehog, obviously you want to get to your Shaddoll Fusion, don't really need to say too much about that. The 1 Dragon and the 1 Falco. Falco? He's not the football player. Falco. Dragon is just there to pop any monsters, or any back row that's really annoying, or destroy a monster. It's up to you. And then Falco is there just because I actually quite like Falco as a one-of. It's nice to just defend yourself a little bit, but also you can make a lot of different plays with it with the fusion. So yeah, that's that. So going on to the non-theme monsters, there's only 3 of them. It's 3 Maxi. We're in quite a heavy special format, and this card just helps your consistency. It's a really good card nonetheless. Again, I don't really need to say too much about Maxi. Everyone should know why it's there. I don't play any Veilers just because the negation power in this deck, in the extra deck, is really good. So going on to the spells, we have Revolving Switchyards. This card is just oh so good. You want to open it as quickly as possible, and just in general, it's the card that gets the deck moving, so it's really nice that it finally came out. So its effect is, if a level 10 Earth Machine monster is normal special summon, Except during the damage step, you can activate the effect. You can special summon a level 4 machine monster from your deck and make it a level 10. So that's where Railcar comes in, because you get to special summon that, and then in the end phase you get to search. Really important card. And then also you can discard a card. For the first effect, your opponent takes no battle damage for the rest of the turn. And then for the second effect, you get to discard a card to add a level 10 machine from your deck to your hand. So it's really good because you get to search out Night Express or the first. So, you know, it's a really good card, really important, and I really recommend playing this because without it, you're not playing trains. I'm sorry, you need it. 3 terraforming. Again, you want to get to Switchyard as quickly as possible. You might be saying this clogs a little bit, but the fact that, like, you can discard it with revolving is really good. So, yeah, 3 terraforming makes sense. Then another one that makes sense, 3 Shadow Fusion. You're playing fusions. You're playing Shaddolls even. So, I mean, yeah, it makes sense, right? So, don't need to say too much about it. Forbidden Chalice is actually a really good card in this deck. So, when you normal summon, or special summon, well, normal summon, sorry, the Night Express, it goes to 0 attack. But with Forbidden Chalice, if you Forbidden Chalice it, it goes to 3,400 because its effect has been negated, and therefore it goes back to the 3,000 and then gets the additional attack from the Forbidden Chalice. Then, at the end phase, it actually goes back to 3,000 because its effect has been negated. It goes to 3,000 attack, and it's really, really good. So that is why Forbidden Chalice is good in here, just in general to block your opponent and also increase the increase the attack points of your monsters. Well, reset them, I guess you could say. So yeah, Forbidden Chalice is absolutely amazing in this one. Then we have the 1 Soul Charge. Again, this is pretty self-explanatory. We don't actually need our battle phase all that often, simply because you can just wall up for a turn, and this is a great card to wall up with. So yeah, Soul Charge is absolutely amazing just because the reward that you can get from cards summoning out is just so good. Limit Removal. I actually really like this card. So Limit Removal, if you don't know what it does, it doubles the attack of all face-up machine type monsters on your side of the field. It's a quick play, but then in the end phase you destroy them. So if you use it with like Dora, for example, then Dora doesn't die. So that's good, right? You get a 6/4 monster that just doesn't die in the end phase. So yeah, Limit Removal has just always been an OTK card, and it is possible to OTK things with this deck, especially with a Gustav, which you'll see in a little bit. But yeah, I really like Limit Reverse. And then finally the 1 Instant Fusion, just for some a couple of tuner plays if you so want, or any ranks as well. So yeah, you'll see why Instant Fusion's played in a little bit. Then going on to the traps, we have 3 Solemn Strike. This deck kind of likes to control a little bit, so this is why Solemn Strike is really good in here, and the same with the 1 Solemn Warning. It's the Solemn Brigade. You play them if you can, in my opinion, so they're really good. You don't really pay much life points apart from them in the deck, so it makes sense, right? The 1 Shadow Core, again, you're running Shadow, so you run Shadow Core. It makes sense. It's also level 10, so it's actually really decent. And, sorry, it's level 9, but it's still really decent in the fact that you can just send stuff to graveyard, add it back, so on and so forth. So yeah, Core is good. 1 Skill Drain, much like the same as Forbidden Chalice, you run it because you can negate effects. You have big beaters, so you don't mind their effects being negated because you're still putting pressure on your opponent. If Skill Drain was at 3, you would play 3 in this deck. That's how Shadow Trains worked in the OCG. They had 3 Skill Drain, and it was absolutely amazing, and that's why they did so well, in my opinion, because they could pump out these big monsters, and they just had negation everywhere, so your opponent really couldn't do much. So Skill Drain is really good. You run it at the maximum amount, in my opinion. And then finally the 1 Vanity's Emptiness for the trap lineup, because Vanity's is so good. So that is the 40 card deck. Going on to the extra deck, we have the brand new number 81 let's try and get this right, shall we? Because I always forget the name. So it is Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora. So yeah, this card is just so good. You detach a material. It's 3,200 attack and 4,000 defense, of course. And once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach an XYZ material from this card. Then targets 1 face-up monster on the field. The target is unaffected by card effects except its own effects until the end of the turn. So you can see how good that is. It's a 3,200, 4,000 defender that can basically protect itself. And it can also just stop your opponent from doing anything if they target their cards to try and gain advantage, anything like that. Or if your opponent tries to Raigeki or anything, this card just says no. And if we remember, if you use it with the Derricrane, you actually get to pop cards as well. So not only do you protect yourself, the effect of Derricrane allows you to actually gain advantage in that way. So that's how that works. 90% of your plays are going to be normal express, special Derricrane, go into this, if I'm honest. But yeah, so that is why it's so good. Then to go on to one of the original trains, we have Super Dragonaut. Try that again. Super Dragonaut Rail Cannon Gustav Max. Now, Gustav Max is absolutely amazing. We all know what it does. Detach, do 2,000 damage. This isn't the greatest opening play. You want to normally go for this, if I'm honest. Door is a better opening play, but this helps with the pushing for game, and also if you do this and then have, for example, like limit removal, then it means that you basically have game on board, because this is 6,000 attack if you're going directly and you've done 2,000. So yeah, really, really good. Then I'll do all these three together. We have number 35, we have number 84, and then we have number 77. I really love these cards in this deck simply because they work so well. Being able to summon out all of them in ease is just so good. Being able to, you know, summon it and then gain attack and defense. Being able to wipe out your opponent's board, and also having a 4,000 attacker that basically just protects itself. It's just so good. So I really love the spiders in this deck. I kind of wanted to make a more emphasis on the spiders, but the extra deck is quite tight. So you can always run like multiple copies of these if you want, and maybe just one of 7 Sins, or maybe one of Pain Gainer. And I honestly think you need 2 Tarantula, and then you can have any number of these, in my opinion. But yeah, they're really, really good, and play them if you can, because they're super cheap to get. And this deck in general is just cheap, if I'm honest, excluding the Solemn Strikes, of course. Next up, we have Skyplace. This is here just because, I mean, there are not that many great rank 10s, if I'm honest, aside from the ones that we have here. So, yeah, it's not too bad, but 3-4 is actually pretty decent attack, so it's very difficult to get over. And being able to pop a card is nice, so, yeah. Then we have the 2 level 4s that I have. 2 of the best ones right now, in my opinion, is Castell and Dweller. Castell just to remove any problem monsters that your opponent might have, and also Dweller to stop things like Monarchs and BA. So, yeah, makes sense to me. Then we have the Shaddolls. I have 2 Shikanaga. Now, you might be saying, AlintheaYoh, why are you not playing 3 Shikanaga? It's level 10, it's perfect, right? Well, yeah, it is. But I personally think 2 is fine. You can play 3 if you want, but in testing and using them, I haven't gone through 3 Shikanaga, because that is quite a lot. But it depends on your playstyle. It depends on if you're in a bit of a clutch and you need to use this, and for example, like Night Express to overlay into the to Door or anything like that. But yeah, 2 Shikanaga for me has always been fine. So that's that. Then we have the 1 Winder. Again, you don't need more than 1, if I'm honest. Winder, you can recycle all these back in if you really want, but Winder is nice and it works, especially if you have Dora in this. You can just start protecting everything, so it's really, really good. 1 Norden. This is what I said earlier about the 1 instant fusion. Norden just helps with the level 4, so it also helps with going into the next cards that I'm going to show you because of Falco. So yeah, then we have the 1 Coral Dragon as a synchro. Coral Dragon's really great. Again, you can use this and Norden, and Falco to go into this, and then you have a free popper and all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty decent. And then finally, the Ancient Dragon. You can go into this with a Beast and a Falco, for example, and you have a Switchyard, so you just gain life points to get another Switchyard and deck thin. So it's pretty decent, and you know, you can summon something else if you really want, but I don't really use it for that effect. But it is there if you do need it. So that is it, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the train deck. I really do love it. I'm actually really happy that they've come out, because if I'm honest, I've had the promos for the longest time. I actually had them all packaged up in the original packaging for the longest time that I picked up just when people didn't really want them. £10 for the whole thing. It was really, really good, and I just kept holding because I knew the train stuff would come out eventually, and I still really like them, but there are many ways, as I said, you can run this deck. Exodus is a really great one. The special summon by putting all monsters back into the respected areas, and then special summon it's level 10. That's a really good card, and in my next one I'm probably going to have that. I think I might honestly maybe put 1 in this, but when I did have it, I drew it dead really annoyingly when I was testing, so I just removed it for now. But depending on how the deck goes, you can run it if you want. It's down to yourself, because you do go through Night Express, and you also do go through the Derek Crane very, very quickly, in my opinion. Well, I do anyway. So that is it, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of trains, or if you think there is another version of the trains that you think is better than the Shaddolls. So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.